All right, good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Alexandra Cranford at WWL Louisiana, and we're just getting you an update on what's happening with our rain right now. Checking out what's going on, and we're actually on Max 2. I think that one should be popped up right now. We're looking at radar around Southeast Louisiana, and we do have some scattered rain out and about, and we are looking for a bit more as we head through this evening and tonight. You can see where the rain is, especially clustered on the North Shore at this point. And we've seen a lot of strong storms just outside of our coastline. In fact, look at this cell moving away from Plaquemines Parish here out over the extreme northern Gulf and around Baton Rouge and into southwest Mississippi as well. But actually for some of our south of the lake locations and actually some spots farther north too, it has not been as active a day. Thankfully, although we did have rain for sure, and we even had a severe thunderstorm warning across parts of the West Bank around Estelle and toward Belchase, and a big downpour for those areas, although the warning expired pretty quickly. Looking at New Orleans again, nothing really happening, but we do have a little bit of light rain moving south to north, about to impact the West Bank. This is not super heavy or strong. Farther south along the coast, we have some scattered rain, also moving generally from the south to the north-northeast. And really the more active area right now is along our north of the lake spots along I-12 and actually even just north of I-12. So around Hammond, some pretty heavy rain there. Around Covington, Abita Springs, not far from Folsom, and then a little north of Slidell as well. Slidell getting some rain there and another little batch of light to moderate rain moving in pretty soon. And again, it's a bit spottier south of Lake Pontchartrain at this point. So we are expecting this to kind of continue into this evening and tonight. In fact, we might even see it increase. That's what some of our high resolution models have at least. Looking at rain totals so far, look at Belchase, well over an inch of rain with that downpour that moved through earlier. Other spots like downtown and the Kenner Airport has gotten about a ½ inch. And as of right now, not quite so much north of the lake. However, it's happening right now, so these totals will be updating and probably increasing, of course, for those of you with the rain coming down right now north of Lake Pontchartrain. We're still thinking with rain totals, the purples and reds indicate up to about 3, maybe 4 inches of rain, but it looks like actually some of the very highest totals might stay just off the coast of Southeast Louisiana. So that would be a good thing to have it out over the water as opposed to over our land areas when you have that much coming all at once, of course. And then farther to the north, purples to blues indicate about 1 to 2. So that would be a bit more manageable, but still thinking maybe up to about 2. This would be collective from today, or excuse me, cumulative today, tonight, and into Tuesday, before the rain all moves out Tuesday afternoon and evening. Satellite and radar showing the system continuing to surge south to north. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now, so some of these storms are going to be able to tap into that, and that's part of what we saw with that heavier downpour around Belchase. And then it stays disturbed through early tomorrow, and then we get another round of rain, it looks like, racing out ahead of a front, a pretty weak front to our northwest on Tuesday. So the rain potential will be there all the way into Tuesday and Tuesday afternoon. Moving to 5 p.m. today, our model definitely has some showers and storms blossoming by that point. So we will see if that happens. I think, and I've been saying this all day, I think this is probably a little too much, but that trend may be something that we're going to be monitoring closely into maybe 4, 5, 6 p.m. This model has a pretty good bit around still by 8, 11 o'clock, some scattered rain still in the area. We've been seeing some trends that show early tomorrow might be a little quieter, maybe some coastal rain, but some of us will not wake up to a lot of rain on Tuesday morning. That looks like the trend anyway. And then moving through the day, this is roughly lunchtime. And then here is that next batch of some heavy rain forming out to the west, racing through roughly early afternoon on Tuesday. So this is not set in stone as far as the timing goes, and we may see some different trends happening, but we're thinking through tomorrow afternoon, and then by tomorrow late afternoon to evening, maybe 4 or 5 p.m. The rain is pretty much out of here at that point. It moves off to the east, and we start looking instead for a drier weather as we head into Wednesday. Looking at our temperature right now, 72 degrees. We do have gray skies out there. It's been a gloomy and even foggy morning, and during the day our temperatures have been hovering in the lower 70s. I have us staying pretty much around there through the rest of today. Keep an umbrella around. Be prepared in case you encounter a shower or storm, especially toward this evening and tonight. but at this point, not everybody is getting that torrential rain, thankfully. Tonight, temperatures drop into the 60s. We are expecting still some storms with heavy rain. However, we may see it even decreasing as we move through overnight into early tomorrow. Looking at our flooding rain outlook, of course, this hasn't changed. The greens to yellows are marginal to slight risks. Not for severe weather with this graphic, but we're just looking at the flooding rain potential. And on Tuesday, greens to yellows, same thing. So could see some street flooding, especially if we get some of these big downpours, maybe dropping a quick 1 or 2 inches of rain, maybe even a bit more in spots. That would be, it looks like, the biggest concern with this system. Also, officially tonight and tomorrow, we are under the level 1 marginal risk of severe storms. A high wind gust, maybe some hail, and an isolated tornado can't be completely ruled out, so we'll watch it closely for you. But overall, the severe risk is not extremely high. Again, I think it would be more heavy rain in pockets that we have to watch for. And then tomorrow, this is what we're expecting. Again, maybe a little quieter for the early morning, so that would be good for commuting. Moving through the late morning to afternoon, maybe some more rain. Temperatures topping out lower to middle 70s. And then tomorrow evening, we're drying out and our temperatures are definitely getting a bit cooler. Now, it's not a big cool down. This is not actually really much of a front at all, but we are going to see, I think, some drier air working in, and that will be making it feel pretty pleasant on Wednesday. Partly cloudy, still warm, kind of that spring-like feel, but we will no longer have the rain and it will have a very different feel, I think, for midweek. Thursday looks pretty good too. Thursday night into Friday, we may get another round of showers and storms. That one might bring a couple of strong storms. We will see as the system takes shape and as we get a bit closer, but we might have a risk of severe storms with that. And also rain totals may not be quite as high, maybe up to an inch or so. We will see. Models have now started putting a little bit of rain on Saturday too. So this weekend, Friday, I would expect some rain, maybe early Saturday too, but then we get a cool down coming in, a stronger front. So look at Sunday. That's the daylight saving time change when we spring forward, of course. And then on Sunday, we're starting maybe in the 50s, maybe even some upper 40s north of the lake. And high Sunday will be in the 60s. So we do get another hit of cooler air moving in for the second part of next weekend, and that might last into the early part of next week too. So stay with us today. We'll be watching everything really closely for you. We'll have more coming up on WWL Louisiana News at 5 and 6. And of course, we'll have more web updates and social media updates if needed.